Let's see. Yes, it's connecting. Beautiful. All right, so I'm replacing whatchamacallit with Zoom. Perfect. Let me mute this. Uh, we can. Hello, my lovelies. Hello, mes beautés. AJ Gentile, Andrew James Photography. Here we are today with another episode of our photo reviews for the Facebook groups. And tonight, just real quick before I welcome in our co-hosts, we'll go through all of the Facebook groups, the three or four that I started up on Facebook. Je vous souhaite tous une bonne vendredi en passant, even though winter still hasn't really let us go yet. And tomorrow, as a matter of fact, I'm going to be in Baie du Fèvre, photographing with my colleagues in Three Rivers and in Laval. We are going to have three classes of bird photography. I'm just hoping that the snow's going to hold out for us like it's supposed to. I want to welcome Milena from our Facebook group. Milena, how have you been? What have you been up to? It's been a while since we've seen you,
Yes.
and go for it.
Well, I've been up to um, a lot of things. I mean, I've rejoined the RDP Photo Club,
Yeah.
and, I guess participating in their activities. Yes, with Mark right there. And I'm kind of juggling. I don't know which is my favorite film, digital, pinhole. Well, pinhole could span both. And recently, I kind of let go of my Minolta for a while, but now I'm getting back into the film, and I just recently bought three more films. I got like an Ilford HP5.
HP5, yeah.
I got the Ilford Delta 400 Professional. I don't know if you can tell that.
Yeah.
And there's like a new one that's apparently can be developed using color
Color, that's
technology.
right. At the
So I don't know.
C41.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to like, I don't know, I guess all the activities coming up from the club. There's an exposition coming up and all
Exhibition.
the exhibit, sorry, exposition. I think I put those two words together for our club photo. And there's Pinhole Day also coming up. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Sorely, I'm not going to be able to make it while you guys I know that probably Fab's going to be setting something up for you guys, a get together. I'm not going to be able to make it because I totally forgot when I made my April calendar. I totally forgot to reserve that date, and it was too late. By the time I realized the date, somebody had already reserved a couple of classes there. So, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to be going out probably right after work at around 4:30, and shooting some pinhole on the South Shore,
Cool.
just to be able to participate. Because don't forget, guys, this goes out to everybody at Montreal Pinhole, Montreal Tinopé. Don't forget, I set up a group on the International Worldwide Pinhole website, specifically for our group. I'll resend the link through the group. Participate. Send your best pinhole photo you have. I think you have a little bit more than 30 days to be able to post it. I think it's no, actually I think it's until the end of either the end of June or the end of July to be able to share your image. I just wanted just to make sure everybody realizes that group's for us. Um, and one of the founders of that worldwide international pinhole website, which is worldwidepinhole.org, I think.
Yes.
Um, One of the founders is a Montrealer. So one of the original creators of that website is an actual Montrealer. Mark, how you been, man? It's been a while since we saw you.
Yeah, we're doing fine. We're doing fine. And Melina, do not limit yourself. Do everything you can and enjoy. Okay. I only do digital, but anyways, no, seriously, not much. Being part of the club of RDP, and like Melina said, there's the exposition coming up pretty soon, early April. So anyone who's interested, just maybe post, and we'll get you the information on AJ's side when that happens. This year I won't be exposing because I had certain things I had to previously take care of. As a project that's starting up, I'm starting my street photography, which
Nice.
AJ, you always bug me to start getting into, but I said I've never been into it.
Uh-huh.
But someone invited me and gave me a challenge, and I said, "Well, hey, we're going forward for it." I should be exposing my pictures with 11 other photographers,
Okay.
which I believe Uncle Bob is part of. So when that happens in September, we have the official dates and where it's supposed to. I'll post it on your site there and invite
Fantastic.
anyone who wants to see those pictures along.
Great.
And what have you been up to?
Well, believe it or not, I finally finished my I've been working for the past year or even more than that on my film photography class for Gosselin, where I work, which
Hmm.
is basically a workshop. Ça dure une fin de semaine. We're going to be launching it this May. Um, And as a matter of fact, not that I'm advertising for whatever reason, but for those of you who know of Gosselin Photo, all five stores, we're going to be doing a open house in 2 weeks, the 12th of April. Come and visit. I'm doing a conference and workshop morning in photography and one on video in the afternoon, which I'm going to be announcing the film photography workshop that I'm doing. It's based on 2 days, 4 parts. Part one is a photo walk. Part two is developing film. Part three is scanning your film. And the fourth part is converting it so that you guys can print and share it on social media. Um, so that's that. I just finished the English version of the manual. Mark, you've seen the English version. You saw the first version. The
Yes, I
second
saw the
version is
first version.
finished. Grammar's checked, spelling's checked, and now I'm on the process. I'm about a third of the way through on the translation, which should be finished hopefully by the end of the weekend. Um, and I'm just waiting for them to be able to post it on the website so that people can subscribe. Um, Other than that, what else have I been doing? Um,
Last question. You talked about April. Where will you be teaching? Montreal, Laval, Le 10-30, where you,
are you talking about the workshop?
not the workshop. You said that you're supposed to with Gosselin.
Oh
Uh,
no, that's because yeah, no, because j'ai mal c'est du j'ai mal créé ma calendrier puis j'ai complètement oublié. I forgot the Worldwide Pinhole Day.
no, I wasn't talking about that,
Oh.
AJ. You mentioned that's where you'll be introducing your workshop. You'll be getting
Oh, le
people
open
along.
house, le porte ouverte.
Okay, porte ouverte, sorry.
Tous les
Uh,
magasins de fait. So it's specifically like each store will have their own porte ouverte, which is an open house where each trainer or the trainers of each of the stores in my case I'm the only trainer at this town. So on the 12th of April, I believe it starts at 10:30 in the morning at all of the stores. It's first come first serve. um and then like for you, actually, Melina, you have the Montreal store.
Mhm.
Mark, you have the Laval store. Um, and we're just gonna, which it's just to open up the season for with new classes that we're giving and so on and so forth.
New product lines and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we're doing this year. They decided rather than doing it over the weekend like we usually do, a Saturday Sunday thing, they decided to compress everything into one day. You know, anyways, we'll see how it works. Uh, but yeah, like it's an introduction to those who've never seen never been to the college before, um, which is just basically a educational department for Gosselin, and introduce some of the new classes that are coming out this year. Don't forget, guys. I think you guys are part of it, aren't you? The SPPQ is coming up in April. I believe, isn't it somewhere in the 20s? The SPPQ gala?
I don't know, but in the club we judged all pictures that were between the other clubs. We took the version where it's two black and whites and two colors,
Right.
and we voted on, I believe, something like close to 80 pictures.
Okay.
I think it
How
was
So
many
like
we
clubs
were
were
at that
involved?
point. Pardon me?
How many clubs were involved finally?
Uh, if I'm not mistaken, I think 26.
26 clubs?
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I wouldn't put it on 100%, but I remember I think we were number 26 or something like that.
Okay. And
So
I'm on the site right now. Hold on. Where's the date? The date for the gala is April. Hold on a sec. Where is it? I just saw it. Gala. Where'd it go? Um, I never remember I always jot down their date and I always lose it. Uh, Here it is. The Gala de la Photo. Gala de la Photo 2025 au théâtre Manuvie at Quartier 1030 in Brossard.
okay,
It's in the same building as the original Alt Hotel. It's on the 28th, a Monday at 7:30. So, guys, anybody wanting to participate and see justement uh, the participating photo clubs, faut acheter les billets, je pense, à l'avance. I think there are still some left. I'm not sure, but you just have to go to the sppq.com, sppq.com to be able to reserve your seats. And if you're interested in seeing some really fantastic photography from the photo clubs here and around Quebec, um, and yeah, sounds good, guys. Uncle Bob's not here yet, but so we'll go straight to, let me get to the right page. Shall we start having a look at our group? Give it a second. Where is it? It's this one here. Oh, and I've been scanning quite a bit. I haven't posted yet, but been scanning quite a bit black and whites in medium format.
okay,
Thanks.
So now I don't know if you remember some of my cameras, the folders, the ones that fold.
Oh
okay,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I'm shooting. I should say I'm developing the latest films of my 6 centimeters by 9 centimeters, which is the same ratio as a 35 millimeter, but in 120 format.
Mhm.
Um, I got my best of the 645, which is this one over here, which I scanned just yesterday. The last, or not the last, but the first. Um, I'll show you quick. So this baby right here,
Yeah.
okay, and literally, the film size is literally nine centimeters by 6 centimeters wide. Um, and this one shoots two formats. It shoots 6 by 4.5 centimeters and 6 by 9. I haven't tried the 6 by 9 on it yet. But I also got a camera from well, a friend of mine now. I've actually let me see the hell on now. I don't know if you guys know of the podcast Camerosity. But
Yes.
for the last, I would say, close to a year now that I've been following them and being a guest with the owner of, or the owner, Mike Ekman, lent me a Kodak Tourist. Evidently, the first roll of film has a bit of light leak, so I'm going to see if I can't fix the bellows on it. But that one does 6 by 9 too, and very interesting shots came out of that camera. And yeah, so there you go. Oh,
how do
Milena.
you fix bellows?
Oh, you
How do you
replace
fix?
them.
You have to take them apart, or do you use that one? It comes in a spray can, and you put light black that sticks on
I
it.
don't know if that'll work. Something I have to try. But the proper way to do it is you completely replace the bellows. So you remove the old bellows and you can buy them on the internet,
Okay.
déjà fabriqués, already fabricated, or you can get the designs yourself. And there's a whole YouTube. I think there's a YouTube video. I can't remember which YouTuber actually um, shows you how to fold and to
LS
go
card.
from like size to size, because evidently most of them are smaller in the front where the lens is
Yeah.
and larger in the back to cover the film plane. So like my 4x5, for instance, the front of it is if I'm not mistaken is 6x6, but the 6x6 centimeters, so that's 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 inches, and in the back is literally 4x5, or I
Yeah.
should say more like, I think it's actually more like 6x6 inches. So it's there's a lot of do-it-yourself in photography,
I know.
especially in the old stuff. Hold on, I got to take off this. I can see it. Come on, there you go. So it stops moving. Attends, 2 secondes. Vic, I'm gonna go back to the share because we are here to look at our images.
Were you
We're
telling
back.
me something? You said my name and then you went
I
on
did,
to
or Mark
another
did.
Yes, and I interrupted as usual.
I now I
Just
can't remember.
remember.
Do you guys see my browser?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I want to
Sorry,
know.
Melina. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Maybe the train of thought will come back.
Yeah, it usually does. Hold on. This is why am I not seeing? This thing is like up my nose right now. I got to get out of it. Hold on.
What happened?
Oh, my camera, because when I wave my hands in front of my I okay, hold on a sec.
I
Give me
just thought you were being dramatic, by zooming in.
No, 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 believe me. Okay, this is what I want. Hold on. This is what I want. Go back to here, bring this back. Oh, that's so much better. And take the tracking off. Thank you. Done, done, done. And so let's have a look at our first image. And this is one of Melina's images.
No, it's
Nope.
not.
Oh, no, sorry. This is one of Mark's images. That's right. Sorry,
That's what
Mark.
you get, Mark, for interrupting.
I know I get to go first, but hey, A always goes first. So
So this year was where was this shot? This was shot on the Montreal side.
yes, Montreal side of Jacques Cartier Bridge. A few weeks back, we got a lot of people that got gathered together, and we took a walk to start some street photography because we have a project. A lot of the original 11 photographers were there, plus other people added themselves to the group and things like that. So I'm starting to do more and more black and white, and those are the pictures where I started taking and little
This group,
practice and
you're
things
talking
like
about
that.
RDP, Rivière des Prairies?
Yeah, the Club Rivière des Prairies, there is an exposition that will be done in September. It'll
Yeah.
be called Intersections, and each photographer has to take a theme on street photography. So you have to have at least one person in the picture and the street. So then you'll have different themes. So
Right.
all the photographers are gonna come up pretty soon with their themes, and for someone will say, okay, I'll take street signs, special street signs in the picture.
Okay.
So all his pictures will have street signs with one person and basically on the street.
Okay. That's
Okay,
not this
and
photo.
pardon me?
That's not that this photo's not part of that.
No, it's not part of that.
Okay.
It's like I said, AJ, you always invited me to do street photography. I've never been one very strong for it. So those are the practice shots that I'm starting to take to get function faster, and because in street photography, you try to get the action when it's happening. You don't set up your people ahead of time to take your pictures.
No.
So
Street
basically, when you
photography
get the occasion, pardon me?
by definition, street photography is capturing the human condition.
Yeah. So basically, that's one of my first pictures that I've considered my street photography to practice. And like I said, I'm starting to practice a little more with black and white. So
Yeah,
this is the picture.
great. Good shot. Love the shot. I like the depth of field.
F16.
Yeah. Now, evidently, there's always like there's it's your interpretation of the scene too. If you're more of a purist, like evidently Henri Cartier-Bresson, who popularized street photography, he shot the way we see, and evidently we see all sharp. So his way of capturing street photography was always to be around f11, f16. At which point it was also very easy for exposure because usually you'd incorporate the Sunny 16 rule, which is the base of all exposures, right? Um, did you take any other shots after before of this particular scene?
Yeah, I did, but I was closer to the cement base of the bridge. So that's why
No, but
I had light poles that weren't aligned or something like that, and didn't look good. The composition didn't look good.
this particular shot, did you shoot two or three shots or just this one shot
This
of
one
this vantage?
shot placed there.
Okay. Okay. Great
Is it,
shot.
digital or film?
Digital.
Yeah, how come you said you need to go like FLM F16 for
Oh,
street
sorry, that's for
photography?
the depth of field so that basically it's sharp from the foreground to the background.
Oh yes, okay.
My preference is usually to have a little bit of separation between the subject and the background. So
Right,
even
okay,
though I calculate my focus on the subject, I usually shoot, my preference is usually 5.6 f8.
okay.
And there was another rule of thumb in film photography, um, which didn't necessarily port over to digital just for the precision of digital photography. But f8 was one of the apertures. The actual rule of thumb is f8 and be there. So if you didn't want to think too much with a film camera on your exposure, usually at f8, it would give you enough background blur or sharpness, I should say, in that in this particular case, this part back here would probably be out of focus, but what's behind the subject, right?
Mm.
That would have been sharp.
Okay.
Um, Mark, here, my only question to you would be if you had a shot a second shot, right? Right after. I'm not
Yeah.
saying shoot en rafale or shoot. I'm just saying
No,
if you
no.
would have just taken the time to take a second shot, your subject here would have been directly blocked off with this black background,
Okay.
and he would have come out a little bit more,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
But other than that, it's a great shot. It's a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
I love the sky in it. What did you treat it with?
I put it black and white, and then I worked on oversaturation of how can I say tu sais quand tu mets disons pour le soleil it's 50 your Kelvin degrees,
Yeah,
so I played with that to put more coloring inside. When I changed it to black, well, then I readjusted all the different colors separately to make them highlight them or put them darker.
yeah. Because don't forget, you have more colors than you have black and white shades of gray,
Yeah.
right? So shades of gray, technically, you only have 256, and you have 4.4 billion colors. Okay. So each shade of gray actually contains over 5,000 colors of the same gradient.
Okay.
Okay. So I normally don't play with the whatchamacallit. I don't normally play with
The
the white
temperature.
balance. I play
Yeah.
more with the actual color sliders.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Technically, just so that you know, red, green, and blue
Yeah.
are all the same gray. It's what we call the 18% gray.
Yeah.
Okay. Pastel is usually the pastel colors are usually colors that reflect four times more light. So it's taking your red, green, and blue and exposing them at +2, which
Okay.
would be, if I'm not mistaken, in the zone system. I keep reversing the numbers, but I think
And
it
so out of the
becomes,
zone system you're talking about?
yeah, in black and white,
Okay.
becomes a zone. It's either a zone 6 or a zone 3. I can't remember. I have to get back to you on that. Um, but I love the contrast. Contrast is really, really nice
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Mm.
Good job,
Right. Thank you.
Mark. La chasse commence.
Yes.
What are we hunting here? Something in his bag or?
No, basically, it was a joke that was set up with all these gentlemen. Those are the group that will be part of the street photography exposition.
Mhm.
And basically, we're all meeting at the Metro, Blurry Metro. Okay. And we're about, I believe, 9 people or something like that.
Okay.
So we're all gathered there. Someone's taking out his camera out of the bag, and we're about to start walking. So that's why
Okay.
the
It's the
hunt
beginning.
starts.
It's the beginning of the, okay.
The beginning of the hunt.
Right, right, right. That here, what did you keep your camera settings more or less all the same in all of your shots?
What I tried was using aperture priority on this one. I'm
Yeah.
usually a manual guy, and basically because I wanted to speed up my technique of getting the occasion of getting the shot.
Hmm.
I tried practicing of having only one button to take care of and adjusting the depth of field depending on what the subject was. So that was one of the first pictures I was taking in aperture priority.
Which in I'll tell you straight out right away, that's my way.
Okay.
Even when I'm shooting manual, I'm in my head, I'm always aperture priority. In my schooling, what was most important was not the shutter speed, but was actually the depth of field. Because depth of field allows you to control your composition more so than shutter speed. I don't mind if I have hands or feet moving while people are walking. It just makes the photo, in my honest opinion, more dynamic.
Okay.
Okay, it gives it more of a storyline, right?
Okay.
Um, when you have, that's a beautiful shot. I'm not, but when you have harsh light like this, right? When you look here on their faces, the tops of their heads, on the backs of their neck, in the direction where the sun is,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the time, what you could do is try -1/3, -2/3. -2/3 here might have been too much, but -1/3 at least, moins
Okay.
0.3, and you would have given, well, would have given you less, um, voyons, voyons, éclatement de lumière,
Okay.
not bursts of light, but over,
Spe- Specular highlight.
thank you, specular highlight. It lowers your specular highlights here, and it would probably give you a little bit more detail here in the back of in the sky.
Okay.
Okay. Um, don't rely on Photoshop correcting it later on. Information that's not there is not there, and Photoshop will just add garbage.
Okay.
When I say Photoshop, I don't mean Photoshop in itself. I just mean a software
Yeah.
will incorporate garbage, right?
So
So
what's the AI for then?
we're not even going to get into that discussion. Okay. All right. Here we have a beautiful shot here from Melina during a snowstorm.
Yes.
And was this a film shot or was this a digital shot?
No, this somehow was a digital shot
Nice.
in a moving vehicle on
Oh,
St. Louis
wow.
Boulevard.
Okay.
I just the scene just came up. I just had to get it. It wasn't a planned shot.
That's fine.
Is
That's photography is all about that.
Yeah, I just liked I don't know, the way the snow was coming down against the building, and I don't know, there's something about this, like there's the sign of Rouge Barbe with the red light with the red hat with the red bag and the red Juliette de Chocolat, like things kind of worked
Right.
together. So it was a shot on the fly and during one of the biggest, forget if it was, I think it was like February 6th or something. I took
Okay.
this. It was one of the biggest snowstorms we had that day.
I love this
Well,
picture because anywhere you travel your eyes, you hit red.
Yes.
And with that sign rouge, it picks up. So a beautiful picture.
beautiful. And I love the you're shooting it through a window, right?
Exactly, the windshield of the car. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because you can see a little bit of the shooting it through the ice.
Hmm.
That's a beautiful shot. I love it.
Yeah, so you have a bit of the streaks from the windshield, right? Okay.
I would have thought you said this was digital, right?
Yes.
I would have thought it was film because it's
Yeah,
got
I
that
don't know
kind
if
of
it's
thin
like
quality.
the lighting of the,
Well, it could be that, or it could just be the windshield.
yeah, it could be. It gives like a little bit of a vintage look to it. It had.
Exactly.
Yes.
It was a bit cloudy also. It was a
But
no harsh
it's nice to
lighting.
see that even in a snowstorm. I mean, I understand you're in the car, um, technically, um, but so many people are scared to go out in this kind of weather with their cameras. Um, I don't know if you guys saw that, but Mark put up his hand. And it's your camera is not going to break. The cameras can take much more weather than you think they can. Like tomorrow, for instance, I'm doing that excursion for Gosselin, and I had one customer evidently cancel out because, well, first he found it was far because it's in Bids 5, which is from where I'm at in here in St. Julie is about an hour and a quarter, hour and a half, and I believe he's in Lestrie. Mark, where's that Lestrie?
Oh, you're
Lestrie
asking the
is,
guy for geography there, huh?
but it's not the Eastern Townships.
No, give
It's
me a
north,
second.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay. Anyways, long story short, um, he was worried about the snow. Luckily, as Alex, my colleague in Laval, and I both said, we've never had problems, even in a slight, uh, not a downpour. I wouldn't say a downpour, although I have shot in downpours before with the weddings. Um, I should say more so the drizzle or light snow. We've never had problems, and we said it's no matter what. I mean, we can only do this once, so let's go out and try to get as many birds as we can, the migratory birds.
Eastern Townships.
Thank it is the Eastern Townships. I thought
Yeah.
that was like Canton de l'Est.
No, they say a region of Quebec that compromises the Eastern Townships, Lestrie.
Oh, bon, okay,
And also for those, what I do sometimes when I do have to go out, I tend to put a Ziploc bag with
yeah,
elastics on the lens,
okay,
and I have my camera in the bag sealed, and you can press the buttons and open up if you have to work, and the camera is not directly exposed to the elements.
yeah, fantastic. That's it. Yeah, absolutely. Melina,
Yeah,
you got the eclipse. I
I
missed it.
did. I
I
stayed
slept
up
through the
late.
damn thing.
I couldn't miss it.
Nice job with a 170.
Yeah, I think,
Fantastic shot. Beautiful shot.
gosh,
What you remember what your settings were?
oh my gosh. I don't know if I had an aperture of like F, could it be 4? Maybe around.
Okay.
I think my lens it only goes up to F4. I was like,
This
and
was digital or film?
so yeah, it's digital. And
Digital too?
I have a Sigma 70 to 300 millimeter lens that I use. Yeah, with a
Okay.
Nikon D5500.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Yeah. I know,
Nice.
like yeah, I probably put my the best like F4
Okay.
and the actual shutter speed I don't exactly recall.
Next time around, okay. And I can give you there's a website. He's the guy for eclipses, solar eclipses and lunar eclipses. Search for Mr. Eclipse
Okay.
and he gives you exposure settings. Um, actually for the phases of the moon during the eclipse.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
each
Uh,
phase, yeah. It is
absolutely.
tricky to get the exact
I
correct.
usually never shoot the moon larger than f8, and I'm usually
Right.
at f11. Okay. What it would do is it would give you more evidently, well, hold on. Evidently, well, okay, I got to do it this way. It would give you more sharpness on the details of the moon.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and don't forget, you know, evidently the moon is reflecting sunlight.
Right.
So a lot of the times you're shooting at a daytime exposure on a full moon. Here, evidently, because of the eclipse, it's a little bit darker. Um, but you did a great shot here.
Thank you. Yeah. It was
What time was it when you shot it?
it was like, well, I think totality started like a bit after, was it after 2:30 a.m. it started? The totality
Something like that.
lasted about
Yeah.
an hour or so at least.
Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
know it was close to 3 in the morning that I
Yeah.
shot these. I was outside with my camera. There was still traffic outside. I was like,
Really?
for the yeah, there were still people driving by at night wondering, "Whew, what's this person
Fantastic.
doing?" But yeah.
Beautiful shot. Here we have this is what? This is a bench, a park
Yeah, so
bench.
this is kind of a bench. It was like some kind of structure bench that I found on St. Catherine Street. And I felt like there was I guess it was late afternoon, probably around the golden hour, maybe, even though this is black and white.
Yeah.
And I liked, I don't know, I wanted to play around with the shadows and the openings of the structure. So that's, I guess,
I love
my
the
motivation for this shot.
I love the quality of the shadows, and even well, you can tell that it's somewhere around golden hour because even the speckled light here at the top is you could it's still soft. You can see that it's a soft light,
Right.
right? And that's beautiful. It's a beautiful shot. You'd even kept that corner. A lot of people would have cut this off over here, but you paid attention to your and this you recropped it square afterwards.
Yes, I think, yeah,
Okay.
I did crop it a little bit. Yeah. I wanted to like
So
get it centered.
are you shooting more digital now or film?
Well, these are digital shots, but
Okay.
stay tuned for my film ones because I just loaded two cameras.
Oh, really? Nice. Fantastic. All 35 millimeter?
Yes, that's what I have.
Oh,
Unless
nice.
you have something, you have like something to lend me.
Oh, hey, listen. Let me check and see what I got behind me. Oh, here you're after my heart.
Oh,
You're after my heart over here. I haven't had a zeppole, and actually, we ha here in St. Julie, we have a Italian baker. I cannot remember their name for the moment. But I've been in search of actual like really good Italian bread that I don't have to go down to Little Italy to get
right.
crusty stuff. And it's been about I guess about 5 months now that they've opened up over here. It's one of the bakeries from I think from RDP if I'm not mistaken, that they've opened up over here.
Okay. I have to
This
look that up. I must know it.
I'll get you the name. It's is it left
Oh, is it La Frenais?
I think that's the one.
Yeah, I think that's that one is in Saint Leonard, if
Is
I'm
it
not
in Saint
mistaken.
Leonard? Okay.
Yes.
They've got like five or six bakeries around Montreal,
Right. Yeah.
and for
Very
some reason
good.
they picked St. Julie.
Yeah, they opened up, they expanded a little bit in the west and the south.
And
That's
the Zeppole, evidently they have them, but they never have them when I show up. I always show up during the end of the day after work. I go pick up
yeah,
my
they
bread there.
sell out really quickly.
Oh, but I love the what did you lit this with what, a ring light?
Yes, I have a light box with a ring light. So that's and I shot it from the top.
You shot it from the top.
Exactly.
Beautiful shot. I love the detail.
Yeah, at first I was like, oh, this ring
Colors.
light reflects, but it actually worked with the Zeppeli for me.
Well, because you lined up the circles exactly um, circling the Zeppole,
Right. Yeah.
right? And all of you out there, there is nothing like Italian custard.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Italian cream
Yeah.
custard
Take it
is,
from AJ.
oh,
If you know, you
I
know.
had for the first time in, that must be about 10 years, a lobster tail. I can't remember what they call them. What do they call them in Italian?
Is it Coda di Ragost or something?
Yes. Oh my God. Oh,
It's so good.
and it was like this big.
Yeah.
I
It's
ate the whole thing. Beautiful
a
shot
whole
though.
meal almost.
Oh, exactly. Beautiful shot. And here, what do we have? We have another Zeppole.
Another one.
And which one? What's this one? Pistachio.
This one, I think this one, well, this one was in the a bit of in the theme of St. Patrick's.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, I got
okay,
it. Yeah, so it was a Bailey filled cream, I think, and they sprinkled some green
okay.
on top of it. Yeah, it was very good. They have like different flavors of any you could have
This,
ricotta or whatever. Yeah, now I'm gonna
Excuse
get
me while I get up and get my insulin shot.
but both
Just
these shots
looking
are
at these
perfect,
things.
perfect examples of product food shots. As a matter of fact, I've had three customers come to me. Um, one a baker, one is a food, um, one of those food companies that do, I think they do, um, freeze-dried vegetables. Um, and another one, which was a pastry shop, um, that asked or came to me for lessons on this type of photography. And you really outdid yourself on this. Your focus is good. Your depth of field is beautiful.
yeah, the
The,
correct lighting really helps. Like if you
did
have
you use a macro lens on these?
I use that. I have as I said, I have that Sigma lens that's 70 to 300 millimeter, and it kind of
Yeah.
like doubles as a telephoto and a macro lens. Like there's like two settings to it, and I put it in
Okay.
macro mode.
Okay.
This one.
Nice. Really well done. Here we got Uncle Bob. He didn't even make it. He didn't
Where did
make
he
it tonight.
go?
I bet you he forgot. I bet you he was asleep. So here's Uncle Bob in some street photography. And you see, Mark, what I was telling you about motion.
Okay.
The fact that the person here is in motion. So this is probably a shot somewhere in the 1/20th, 1/15th, maybe even 1/10 of a second. Um, but actually, Theo, he's got a pretty steady hand. When you look at everything that's fixed, it's pretty well fixed.
Yeah.
I wonder if this was shot with his ZF. He's loving that ZF, but beautiful. I lo
Yeah,
he,
very nice.
look at the depth of field from the foreground all the way down to the background.
Yeah. And then people walking are almost a little out of focus everywhere you look.
Yep,
In back of the
exactly.
lady, you have a gentleman close to bicycles. On the other side of the street, you have a gentleman too.
Yeah, over here, down here, and evidently he used a. So for those of you who don't know, but to get these light flares here, he was using a very small aperture. So this was probably something around f11, f16, um, to be able to get these. And what it is you take the number of flares you see here, divide by 2, and that's how you know how many leaves are in the aperture of your um, lens.
So he must have raised his ISO fairly high to get, since he was using an F. You estimate that he's using
No,
probably
no, no, no,
f8 or
no.
more, no?
He using a small aperture. That's what gave him that 1/10 of a second or 1/15th of a second. That was a lot. What
Okay.
gave him this motion here and here. And actually, if you look at the car too, the car is out of focus,
Okay.
right? Because the car was advancing. This looks like St. Catherine Street.
Oh,
I
Possibly.
wonder, but this looks like St. Catherine Street. Oh my, oh, clouds. I love these kinds of
It's
clouds. Just look at all the different nuances of white, gray that you see in these clouds right here. Beautiful shot, see. I'm wondering, was this in the East End of Montreal, or was this on one of your treks around the world?
I don't know because it says the Beyond, and I think he's on, but
Oh, this is 2008 too. Okay, this is an
okay.
older image. Go on.
It wasn't an outing, but I don't know if Bob's with us right now.
No, he's not here right now. I think he
Okay.
forgot. Oh, about be. Ah, the barber.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful shot through a window. This must have been on one of your outings, Mark, and
No,
Melina.
it wasn't. Don't forget, Uncle Bob's starting to move a hell of a lot more this time,
That's
and
true.
so basically, he did go with other people. Certain outings, I wasn't there.
Okay.
So I think, but I wasn't there for that picture. And
Was
I
a
love it because how do you guys deal with? I'm a shy person, I'm outspoken, I do a lot of jokes, but I'm kindly reserved as a person and things like that. And that's one of the reasons I have problems with street photography. I have a problem of taking my camera and taking a picture of someone's face.
But here, neither person here is identifiable unless you actually know the person.
Yeah.
But in this particular case, they're not identifiable. So, you know, um, it's society that really has distorted the purpose of street photography. Street photography has always been to document the human condition. And technically, and here Uncle's shooting through a window, so he is in public,
Hmm.
right? There's nothing to be afraid of. You will get people who will, ask you to not take their photos. That's fine. You conform and you say, okay, no, no problem. Um, but what truly does photography in itself is a lot of your own, in French we say comportement. It's how you yourself react when you tend to be, and in the beginning we're all like that, in the sense that we're afraid, are we, imposing, are we, and we tend to be extremely jittery, like we move very quickly, we move very, uh and it's natural that we're affected by, evidently, our peripheral vision. So if you're constantly doing, taking a picture and looking down and taking a picture and looking down, taking a picture, looking down, evidently people are going to notice you,
Hmm.
right? But if you instead um take it easy, relax, you get the shot or you don't get the shot. It's I mean, it can be a crapshoot. Street photography can be a crapshoot. It's throwing the dice, and either I got the shot. It's not sticking around and taking 15 shots until you get the shot.
Okay.
So in the beginning, you're going to get mostly missed shots because you have to adjust to the way that would make you the most discreet. And a lot of times, what I do is I will lean up against the building, lean up against a light post, and not even raise the camera to my eye. Just take a good minute and a half, 2 minutes, and see what's coming towards me, what's moving away from me, and anticipate when will be the proper moment for me to shoot what I'm looking to shoot.
Okay. Or do you find you seem to be sorry, you seem to be the person who finds his spot, his background scene, and waits for someone to
Yes,
animate it perfectly.
absolutely. And that is
Okay.
exactly what Henri Cartier-Bresson had said in one of his last interviews. one of their interviewers asked him, "What's the most important element in your shot?" And when he turned around and said, "Well, it's not the human condition to begin with, because the human condition happens so quickly, you can't react to the lighting, you can't react to the composition until you visualize what it is, what type of photo you want to go after." And sometimes he waited, I mean, apparently, he waited a good 15-20 minutes sometimes. I know I've waited half an hour on a park bench until I
Okay.
just get that one person walk down the path that I've chose to wait for, because there was a statue behind, right? And um just wait for that moment. Photography is as much about patience as it is about um capturing the moment.
And Melina, what do you do for your street photography? Do you do some?
Well, it depends on the setting. Like, I have implemented what AJ said about, I guess, picking my background and waiting for a person to come through. So I've tried that and I find that works actually quite well. Like you kind of
Especially when it comes to exposure, right?
right, exactly. Yeah, and you can get many shots and but sometimes they're on the fly, and
Well, I'm sure this one here was on the fly.
yeah.
This one here, he saw it. But the thing is also that, and this is what I try to teach in most of my classes, is that you have to be first. Okay, so two things. You have to be comfortable with your um equipment, okay? And you have to trust your equipment. You have to have faith. I was telling a customer today, I was telling him, you have to have faith in the science and mathematics of exposure. Okay? If you set your exposure for the proper depth of field and for the proper light, that exposure will be good for at least the next 10 to 15 minutes. Unless you are literally in a with a or stuck with a variable sky.
Okay.
Okay? You have to, and Mark, you've been doing this for a couple of years now, right?
Doesn't show.
So what?
I said doesn't show. Made a joke.
No, 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 no. You've been doing this for a couple of years, right? So now it's time to take off the training wheels. Okay. And this is, again, see, this particular shot for me, I would have been in AV or in A, okay, aperture priority. I would have gone to get my f8 or my f11 here because there's a lot of light in there to begin with, right? And evidently, if this was a shot at night, then I'd probably be somewhere between 1600 and 3200 ISO. And I live with whatever AV or A gives me in shutter speed. I'm not there right then and there saying, "Oh, I need more ISO. I need more." No, no. And if
AJ,
you're in it,
what are you talking about? Just put your camera in automatic mode. It's gonna do everything you need.
AV and TV, or A and S and P, are not actual automatic modes. They are modes that are tied into the light meter of your camera that directly affects either shutter speed or aperture, depending on what you give it for sensitivity. And example, an aperture priority, you're shooting at a particular f opening. Today, evidently, I would say with the cameras that are dated later than 2017, finally the companies have realized that the old rule of thumb of 1 over your focal length is never enough for digital photography as far as shutter speed goes. So now they've given you a variable automatic ISO where you can tell it, because one of the beautiful things about digital is that it's electronic and there's a communication happening between the lens and the camera. So by that, the camera knows what focal length you're using. So if this was a 50 millimeter lens, um, the actual film shutter speed we'd be looking for would be 1/50th or more. In digital photography, that doesn't work because the sensors have much better resolution than um, film between 100 and 400 ISO on only, and I have to stress, on only a 35 millimeter format. Digital does not compare to 120, 4x5, 8x10, 5x7. It doesn't compare to anything larger than a 35 millimeter frame. Not even the digital, what they call today medium formats, are not true medium formats. There is no sensor that actually measures 6 centimeters by 6 centimeters. Okay, they're just 2 times bigger than a 35 millimeter frame. And it's not a 645. It's smaller than a 645. Anyways, sorry. Went off on a tangent there.
No problem. We're learning.
Good
Okay.
information.
Hey,
Good information.
but you need to your light, your depth of field. After a couple of years, you should already know which, when you're looking for a sharp depth of field, whether you prefer f16, f11. I never use my smallest, neither my largest apertures, because I know that one gives me chromatic aberration, while the other one gives me a diffraction of light, which actually makes your focus softer. That's when you use too small of an aperture. And just 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 see your shots. See your shots. You'll miss shots. Don't worry. I miss shots all the time. I mean, needless to say, I'm nowhere near perfect. I do strive to be better, and in all the photography that I do, in practicing different types of photography. But I don't want to go too long because I've already over steps probably this particular topic, but just it's enjoy, have fun. Um, but don't get stuck on a single image. You know what I mean? À un moment donné, either you get it or you don't get it, and if you don't get it today, it's like a lot of times what I get is people get frustrated with the mechanics of photography, and then they blame the camera that they missed their shot. It's not that, it's that you're not comfortable enough, and you're not, and it's not like it's not having faith. It's just, what can I say? It's be confident that, oh, and sorry, uh, be confident in the fact, especially if you're using a semi-automatic mode, you will always get the light. The light will always be there because the light meter guides the camera. And if you're at zero, whether you point to a shadow or you point to a highlight, you will still get the proper lighting. Is it the proper lighting that you're waiting for the image? Is that the proper lighting for that particular moment? Right? But by using a semi-automatic mode like TV or like AV, um, and this is what I tell a lot of novices, the manual mode is not, don't listen to what you hear on the internet. The manual mode doesn't make you a professional photographer. It doesn't make you a better photographer. And with digital photography today, you have a computer in your camera. So just learn how to use that computer to your advantage to get your shot. Let it help you. When my daughter's on her horse galloping at 40 kilometers an hour and she's doing her barrel race, do you truly think I'm actually calculating my lighting and my aperture and my no. I stick it at one particular aperture. I base my ISO on the shadow because I know she's going to pass through a shadow. And having it on A or AV, the camera is going to go and get, when it comes to light, it's going to go and get the shutter speed that it needs. All I told it to do was, in the worst light, get this particular shutter speed and anything above it, nothing below it. right? And then I'm spending now 99.8% of my time following my daughter in the viewfinder, making sure that she's not leaving, like she's not escaping what my viewfinder
Yeah.
can cover with the zoom that I'm using, right? I never use shutter priority, which is in for Canon TV and for everybody else S, because I never have had a need to use one particular shutter speed. And another problem with that is also that when you prioritize the shutter speed, for me, again, my way is not the way. I don't know how many times I repeat this during the day. My way is not the way, it is a way. It's a way that's evolved over the 40 odd years I've been doing photography. Whether I was, you know, as much as I've been doing it in the last 25 years, when I was in computers and I was only doing it as a pastime and once every, family vacation or family event, um, get away from having the camera not lead you. Um, don't get lost in the device or the actual mechanics of lighting. Just get what you need. I went on a long rant there. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no problem. But it's justified. That's how you'll become a better photographer.
It's
I
it
tend to be highly technical.
Yeah,
My pictures, I
which
believe,
is not a bad thing either. It's not a bad thing because photography can be objective and it can be subjective, but the art of photography for me comes from the subjectivity of photography.
mm,
Continue. Sorry, I interrupted you.
no, no, it's that. So I'm trying to get away from the technical and more of the enjoyment of the moment
Hmm.
to take the picture.
Buy one of these then.
I can never get my subject in focus with one of those.
But even my son, well, mind you, he forgot to bring it. He went to Ottawa, was it last week or the week before? He was supposed to bring, him and my daughter, they both have an Instamatic like that.
Yeah.
And now they're going to start using well, Dakota's going to start using, Logan too wants to start using the actual cameras here behind me. So they're going to start getting into doing some photography manually too, which will be interesting. We have a beautiful shot here of a beach, somebody bathing at the beach. Is probably and actually this was this year. So this must have been on his last trip when he went, was it Italy, I think he went?
Grease?
Greece? Well, oh, Greece, that's right, Greece. My uncle and Mark knows more. And see here, Mark, there's nothing wrong with this shot, even though they're silhouettes,
Yeah,
right? Silhouettes work just as well. And street photography can be just that. I mean, technically, this is street photography. There's no street here, but it's capturing the human condition.
yeah,
Street photography, when it was actual streets, was it literally in the 1800s. Because in the 1800s, we didn't have, like, we had a shutter, like, I've got cameras here where I have 1/100th of a second, 1/50th of a second, and 1/25th of a second. Those are the only shutter speeds I have on those cameras.
yeah. But most of the vehicles were horses.
Yeah, but they disappear in 1/50th of a second,
Okay.
right? It's funny to say it, but when street photography in that day was actual street photography because you literally had to ask people to stand still.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Here's a nice posed shot. Tattooed family. So evidently everybody here loves tattoos. And here, notice how Uncle literally analyzed the light of the subject. Because if you look in the background is overexposed. But that is not what was the image. Here, what the image was the gentleman and his wife with the tattoos. So he based himself literally on that light that was in front of him. Beautiful, beautiful landscape, a sunset landscape here. And you'll notice you can actually see the rays of light coming down from. These are the sunsets that I prefer the most. I prefer when not the sun is actually hitting the horizon, but when the sun is just above the clouds, because then you get all, if you can you see my cursor? I don't know if you can see my cursor.
Yes.
You can? You can see my mouse?
Yeah.
Well, you see all back here, all this, all these rays of light. If you'd have shot this at 0, you would have completely washed out the sky. You would have gotten a better foreground, and you would have probably gotten more detail out of this mountain range here, right? But because Uncle specifically metered somewhere on the sky around here, he was able to capture those sun rays. And as sometimes I'll be honest with you, the last one I did, the last sunset that I did here in St. Julie, I actually exposed it at -4. -4 is telling the camera that there's 16 times less light. And then what I did in my image was I took this part here on the bottom and I added +4, and that gave me closer to what I saw. Here, Uncle used the difference in exposure from the sky to the foreground to keep the foreground darker, which in essence brings out more this area here in the clouds where the sun rays are.
Okay.
Another beautiful shot here. In the woods, we got some mushrooms here. See, this one I'm gonna say is just a little bit overexposed because the mushrooms themselves are, but then again, they are on a dark background. So we'll have to ask Uncle next time. Actually, we can ask him next week at the next week is the don't forget the round table next Saturday. Not this Saturday, but the 5th. It's the first Saturday of the month for the round table. Anybody who wants to join, I put the link in the on my Andrew James photography page. It's a beautiful shot. Look at the detail in the cracks in the wood. It's really nice. The feu d'artifice, fireworks. Oh, this one here though, we're gonna get the whole firework. There we go. Beautiful shot of fireworks. Have you guys tried fireworks yet?
Nope.
No?
But it's something I want to do.
Well, it starts in June, I think, no?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Some
but
say
so yeah, but end of June, towards the end of June.
towards the end of June or the middle of June?
I don't remember.
you got the ones downtown, but you've got different municipalities and different little events where I feel I could get closer to certain fireworks by going there, you know.
Yeah. This
Do you
was
use a
probably, well,
tripod or you
evidently.
do a handheld?
Um, I do both,
Okay.
honestly. If I'm going to do fireworks, normally I will have a tripod with me. Um, but if I and it's happened many times where I've planned a photo walk or a photo outing and completely forgot that the fireworks were going to happen. You can easily do this also handheld.
Okay. And what would be your starting settings for an event like this? What would you put your ISO to start off with, and then you adapt? What would be
Well,
your
Evan,
starting bench?
for me, my when it comes to ISOs, and I have a Sony A7 III, which is a third generation, so I have a very large latitude of ISOs. I would start at 3200 ISO. My
Okay.
camera can easily do, oh, even I would say 10,000 ISO and still not, for my eye, give me enough noise to worry about. Noise wise, especially since I'd say about 2017, 2018 was where um I will say that that was when the camera sensors really had a remarkable um, evolution, specifically in how they manage noise. I haven't seen that kind of I guess I don't know if you'd call it evolution or um, amélioration since, because sensors really haven't changed that much since 2017. Um, Mind you, Canon did build the what was it? It was the Canon 1D. Is it the 1DX Mark IV or the 1D Mark IV? I can't remember. Uh, in 2020, which was a 20 megapixel sensor, full frame, that could uh, that could do up to 1 million ISO.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh yeah. Now understand that, and you know, I don't presume to. Yeah, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a scientist, but I do have to explain to, you know, Monsieur, Madame, tout le monde, or Tom, Dick, and Harry, as in the simplest possible terms, when it comes to stuff like ISO, um, sensitivity, pixelation versus grain. Noise is not grain. It never has been. It never was. Evidently, 25 years ago or 30 years ago, with the very first digital sensors, I mean, they were such crap that it replicated what you would consider grain, but today it doesn't. Um, Pixels are static when it comes to their size. Grain is grown. Bigger the grain, it's more sensitive it is, the less resolution I have. If your camera, like my camera, goes up to 51,200 ISO on a 24 megapixel, it's not the pixels that grow and get smaller. A pixel can't be enlarged or reduced in size. It's physically of one size. It's the best way I could explain it is like a volume button on a stereo system. What you're doing is you're increasing the voltage on the pixels, which are making the pixels blow out. Here in this particular case, even if Uncle was shooting it at 3200 or even 6400 ISO, um, and I don't even think that he would have had to use, because I'm pretty sure this is 2024. 2024 is when he had, I think, is when he got the ZF. Um, this particular noise would have happened literally in the sky here, in the dark sky.
Yeah.
Okay. And there are no blown out pixels. And even if there are slightly blown out pixels, you can fix this with noise reduction. Not necessarily the in-camera noise reduction, but specifically with software noise reduction that we get in our softwares like Photoshop and Lightroom and Topaz, the famous Topaz. Yeah. Um, so to go back to what Mark was asking, here I would be using 3200 ISO, and I'd probably be shooting this particular, or I should say, not this particular firework, but fireworks like this probably at about F. If I'm using an f4 lens, probably at 5.6. If I'm using a 2.8 lens, probably at f4.
Okay.
For the fact that I don't want it, because this would cause chromatic aberration. So too, where you have these flares here, these éclatements de lumière ici. And it was probably, I mean, this was probably, at 3200 ISO, probably f4, 5.6. You're probably shooting here at about maybe, I don't know, 1/125th, 1/200th of a second.
Okay.
Uncle forgot to put, he forgot to put um, the settings, but then again, also, settings. I ask for settings, exposure settings, as a means of to explain why certain things happen and other things don't happen. But then again, a photo is much more than its settings, right? It's
Yeah.
more than its shutter speed. It's more than its aperture. It's the whole. It's telling a story. right? I mean, look at film. We don't have any settings on it. And I try to record some of the settings, and I
Yeah.
don't even record it on every exposure of a roll of film. I have it on my phone. I have an app on my phone where I can put in what lens I use, what aperture I use, which film I used, what shutter speed I use, but it's just as a gauge. Because even on a roll of film in the same situation, if I'm shooting street and I shot 12 shots on my HP5 film, typically in the same light, I'm probably at the same apertures and the shutter speeds. I'm just concentrating more on where I'm going to shoot the image. Um, Beautiful shot here. This one, Mark. This is yours. This is what's Cabana Suc?
Yeah, yesterday.
Wow.
Yesterday. About it's
Very
a
nice.
very nice. Yeah.
What I did in that is when I took the picture, I got down really low.
Yeah.
I illuminated the sky.
Uh-huh.
And when I processed the picture, I sort of put everything a little darker than it was. And
Yeah.
I highlighted the tree to bring the attention to where those trees are. They're the ones in focus while the other ones are not. So everything to sort of bring the eyes to that.
Okay.
And at the end, I added a small filter, which made a little thing. How do you say? Brought up the contrast.
Yeah. And your snow is white. So,
Yeah.
the snow that's well lit is white. So, you know, that's fantastic. I'm looking here real quick, and I just see this tree here it's not hitting the bottom, right? I can see the ground here. Um, was this a crop you did afterwards?
Yes, sir.
Maybe move back a little bit.
Okay.
And this tree that's out of focus is the aperture you chose?
Yes, I
Okay.
used an aperture f4
Yeah.
because I really wanted to concentrate on those trees that had the pale.
Yeah. And this is a perfect example of depth of field at f4. This f4 for me is what I do when I do portrait. Okay. I don't look for 2.8. I don't look for 1.4. F4 for me was the aperture I was using in wedding photography. Evidently, I was shooting at 70 millimeters or more to be able to, not stack, but to, well, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Compress the image, right? Because evidently F4 at 24 and F4 at 70 millimeters, the depth of field changes, right?
Okay.
Okay. Beautiful shot, Mark.
Thank you.
Very nice.
What is it with you and morbid shots, you? It's
Once in a
not dead
while,
rats. It's
And
empty.
this
It's empty chocolate bar frickin' wrappings
this this
and
one was not flagged, right?
no, this was not flagged. All the other
why
ones
would it?
were
Why
flagged
would it be? Why would it be flagged?
because it's a skull.
Well, honestly, it's a statue, but it's like uh, no, it's like once in a while you tend to want to get out of the how do you say the kitty cat syndrome, I would call it. You know, yes, pictures of little kitty cats are fun and things like that, but I want to do something different. And this is part of during the Christmas break at the club where you had to take 10 pictures
Yeah.
and you had themes.
Uh-huh.
And this one was supposed to be a theme of Le Temps des Voiles tout.
Okay.
Okay.
This
So
is
I
evidently in
thought,
the winter. This
yes,
is in
in
the winter.
snow outside in the backyard. Put the skulls down and placed them in a certain way where the sun would hit it and it gave some of the shadow and things like that.
Okay.
Took it in black and white because I wanted to have something, I don't know, more dramatic in the picture
Yeah.
and put some snow on it. And it was really getting warm. As you can notice on the skulls, you've got droplets of water
Yeah.
because the snow is melting.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
And
true.
so basically, that was part of the project. So we had 10 pictures we had to take. When you had the picture of me holding the guitar, that was another one of those pictures
Yeah,
that had to be taken, which was a theme of a rock star or something like that.
right.
So, and I don't know. Yes, maybe some people will look at it negatively, but picture
I'm just bugging
photography
you.
for me is not only beautiful things.
I'm
You
just
have to
bugging you.
record. You have to record everything, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Hey, it's your shot.
So,
You know, I tell people, photography is subjective. Don't shoot for other people. Evidently, if you're shooting, if you're doing commercial photography, if you're doing like me when I did, for 20 years, I did event photography, you're shooting for other people. And
yeah.
that's exactly what kind of got me out of it, is that after 20 years of shooting for everybody else and everything's got to be sharp, everything's got to be clear, everything's got to be frozen. It's photography is so much more than that.
Mm,
On a creative note, Mark,
yes.
on a creative note, I will say that I'm not talking about the shadows on the snow, okay?
Okay.
But the shadowed side of the skulls could have used a little bit more punch, a little bit of burning,
Okay.
but
So you're saying
subtly,
to
subtly,
bring out the details.
just to bring out, like, because it's a little dark. I'm not saying to bring, you know what I mean? Bring just maybe pass a very a large feathered brush over at maybe plus, try at plus 0.3. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
That
to
what
make a
burning means?
burning means adding light, dodging means taking light away.
Okay.
Milena, when you end up coming here to actually do some darkroom, I got to show you exactly where dodge and burn comes from.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would like to
Uh,
know.
the shot that I don't know if I posted it yet. Oh no, because no, I didn't post it. It's not something. You won't see it in the post because it's a print. But I did a print at a buddy of mine here on the South Shore. He invited me to use his darkroom because he's set up for 4x5 enlargement films. And we worked on a photo, one of the last photos I shot of my dad before he passed 2 years ago, playing chess with my youngest, Dakota. And the actual darkroom session, we were, evidently, Andre was actually coaching me to bring me back into the, how to darkroom. And we ended up spending at least, oh, I think it was about 3 hours on the photo. We exposed it in the end 5 times, and it had to do with dodging up a little bit out, burning, letting light literally, covering up, making a shadow on the photo, and just letting enough light in that particular section. That's where burning comes from. Dodging is using um, some kind of a um,
Paper or something like that.
paper, or
That's
yeah,
true.
he had literally shapes of different sizes on different length of wire, and we just to remove during the exposure some of the light so that it wouldn't over burn the or over darken the image on the paper.
Oh yeah, if I go on my mobile app in Snapseed, there's a setting
Yeah, for dodge and burn.
called dodge and burn.
And that dodge and burn is it's a not a selective, sorry, not a selective tool, a you know it's a localized tool.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So digitally, it's only affecting the pixels that you're touching. It's either darkening it, so it's dodging, or
Mhm.
it's um overexposing, burning. That's where the burn comes from.
Very cool.
But again, Mark, this is a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
Even if it's quite dark.
It's not that it's just that there's not enough separation between this side of his skull
No, I was
and
talking about the
Yeah.
subject being
Yeah,
dark.
exactly.
oh,
3 hours.
yeah.
That's a good one, Mark.
Yeah. No, fantastic shot though.
Thank you.
And there we go, guys. So I will definitely tomorrow, depending how things go with the excursion, I'm hoping that I'll be able to have some nice bird shots. Did you guys see the shot that I did, the screwed up shot that I did of with my 4x5 from the beers and camera when we did the oh hold on, I was looking at it before. This shot. So this is the so I double exposed in my 4x5 camera. I had taken the wrong film holder and I had shot
Oh
a
yes.
picture of
I thought you
the
were talking about this
Olympic
one.
Stadium. And then when we did our company barbecue last year, I used the same shot. So this is what an actual double exposure looks like. But with the help of post processing, I was actually able to do this. I was actually able to partially, but I will say more than partially, separate the exposure from the stadium to the actual group shot that I shot here with the 4x5. So now we're having another barbecue this year, evidently, on July 1st. So I'm going to reshoot this without this mistake.
Red tape your film.
You do one for fun where you pick a picture to do another double exposure, see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. And then don't forget, guys, Montreal Pinhole Stenopim photography. Actually, I put it in here. I have to wait. Where did I put the when did you do this one? Millenn oh, here in October.
Yeah, I did that for Halloween
Oh, did you? Okay.
in my house.
That's a great shot. Did you use what did you well, this is evidently a long exposure.
Right. Yeah. It was a
How
long
long did you
exposure.
give it?
Oh gosh. I don't know.
Remember?
At least 30, probably 30 seconds or so, maybe. I have to go back and check in my exact settings, but yeah,
Okay. What do you have for a pinhole?
I have the creation of Fab. He gave me like this
Oh,
lens cap
yes,
with a
yes,
little
yes.
hole.
Right?
Yeah, and I put it on my Nikon.
Okay, so this is a digital.
Yes.
Okay. I put here, so it's the 27th of April this year. Yeah, this is for this year. Um, I can't put the link to the album yet because I think they only open it the week before or a couple of weeks before. Um, but the photo has to be shot on the 27th. Whatever photo you choose to submit, it has to be shot on the 27th. I'm going to be evidently because I'm working that day. My last class I think finishes at 4:30. Um, is it 4:30? Yeah, I think my last class finishes at 4:30. So I'm gonna probably run down. I'll probably, you know what I'm gonna probably shoot, and I just thought of it now. I'll probably shoot the new Champlain Bridge since I'm that close to it.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'll shoot it on my. I have a digital, like you have a digital body cap,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
I have
body
my
camera.
4x5 box camera, which I bought from the what's his name, Monsieur Gel from Sherbrooke, I think. And so, guys, keep that in mind for the end of April. It's always the last um, Sunday of the month of April. This was last year. We were at remember, Mark? I think you were there.
Yes,
We were at the
that's my
Terrebonne, no?
picture.
That was Vieux Terrebonne, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Not that one, but
Actually,
the previous one you were showing, I went there with my digital and I enjoyed
yeah.
seeing and learning what pinhole photography was. And I took pictures there. I even helped you because I believe you did a broadcast from there. while you were
That's right.
setting up.
That's right. If I look real quick, gallery. So exhibition, this was last year, exactly. And hold on, group is, we are the Montreal Pinhole Group. This
That's
is
it.
us. So if you go to this, there you go. It's Milena, Manny, and me. So this was Manny, and he shot. No, this was
That's
Milena.
mine.
Sorry, this is yours.
Yeah.
And this is what your D5500,
Exactly.
the body cap,
Yeah,
right?
there I have a picture of my setup.
There you go. That's it, right there.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I use.
And if I'm not mistaken, Fab uses a it's a
Oil filter.
yeah, a nozzle from furnace, no? A furnace
Yes.
nozzle. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes. I gave him that. And he's also in a contact with a gentleman named Eric who prints using a 3D printer. And
I
I
think he's the
don't
guy
know.
who made he's the guy who made my solar scope.
I don't know.
I think he might be the same guy.
A
This
gentleman from the group Mascouche, and I believe he's also in Laval, the
okay.
photo club.
And
And
this
you basically you let him know what camera you have,
yeah.
so he can plan the threads of the cap to put on.
Uh-huh.
And he has an arrangement with Fab, except I haven't seen what he uses exactly for the pinhole. But I think it's a filter too. So they found the place because I gave Fab a couple of filters,
Okay.
but they were previously used.
Right.
So he finds one from a place where they're fresh and new and never had any oil on it.
Okay.
So you don't have to clean them and make sure
Right.
there's no odor or anything like that.
Okay.
And I believe that's what they're using right now. So it gives a beautiful finish to the front of your camera.
Okay.
While the
Yeah.
old technique, while the old technique that was used, well, you had to get the filter, you had to open it up,
Right.
remove a very small part in it, which made the pinhole part,
Okay.
and you had to drill and plug that on a camera lens.
Okay. A
So
body cap.
yeah, a body cap. But unfortunately, we're never 100% at the right place.
Okay.
So usually it made for artifacts on certain pictures, which are lovely.
Yeah, yeah.
But by having the person who printed it, he did it basically on a computer program. So he centered everything and
Right.
everything is conformed. And I believe he has different ones for different openings.
Okay. This
So
one here was Manny's.
yeah.
And Manny, this was a digital one too. Z he uses Z7. Um, this was a 1 second at 400 ISO. And the equivalent of the aperture is an f220. And then this was my image over here.
Nice.
And this one, I shot it with my wooden box camera, which has an aperture of f287, a focal length of 135 millimeters. And I shot it for 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Oh, and that's right. This was the first year I tried using direct positive paper. So this wasn't film. This was an actual photo paper that inverts the image to positive. So I actually was able to develop this in a dark room under red light.
Very nice.
And I still have 2 boxes left of this paper, so I'm going to use it again this year. I kind of reserved it for this particular camera. And yeah, this was actually I forgot to take a picture. I should take a picture of the camera. Yeah.
This year you can.
Hey?
You
Yeah, this
can
year I
for this
can.
year.
Exactly. So, guys, everybody out there, this is the group, Montreal Pinhole Group. Um, let's use it this year. Let's have more than 3 participants. Although I thank Manny and I thank Melina for participating and for submitting. to the Montreal group. Now that we finally have a Montreal group at this site. Again, this year it is oh, and you can check out all the other there's 46 pages of photos worldwide. 1,352 people in all participated. Where is the again? Is it intro? No. Oh, let's just do this one this way. Back. The next pinhole day is April 27th. Oh, that's it here. The deadline has been extended to June 30th in order to accommodate all those who depend on mail order processing. But there's quite a few photo labs. If you do it on film, there's quite a few photo labs. Again, you know, um, you can always contact me and if you need help with film development. It can all be done at home yourselves. The chemistry is much less detrimental than it used to be 40 years ago. And a lot of labs today, you can ask them if they recycle chemistry. Um, and you can bring your expired chemistry to the labs, and they'll recycle it for you. So all that, I guys, it's how long? What time is it now? It's almost 10,
10:45.
9:45. So we've been here almost 2 hours. I got to start prepping my bag for tomorrow. I thank you both for participating. It was nice having you guys again. I'm bringing this back on a monthly basis, so I've reserved all my dates for calendar and everything like that. Um, and if you guys have anybody who wants to join in, I've actually posted on my Andrew James photography Facebook page a simpler link to use to connect to my Zoom. By all means, if you just have to click on and when it rings here, I'll answer it and I'll let you guys in for whatever. And if you see me, on my lives especially now that I can use Zoom and have other people interact with me while I'm and not just me talking and blabbing and. I thank you all for a beautiful evening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Thank you
Melina.
so much, Mark and AJ. It's always a pleasure.
We'll see you if you can make it next week. The door's open. Speaking of which, what did I mention? Did I mention? I haven't mentioned it yet. The theme next week is street photography. Actually, Mark, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Street photography. Did you get the invitation?
I I think so. I'd have to go check on my Gmail.
Melena, you two check and see if you got it in your if you got the link.
Okay.
Where is it? Schedule? No, I don't want to schedule a new one. I want the calendar. Ah, hold on. No, stop. Okay. Calendar. And next week. So it's next Saturday instead of Friday. Hold on. Yeah. Come on. Non, c'est pas ça du tout, du tout, du tout. C'est pas lui que je veux. Hey, really? It's not coming up with my anyways. Yeah, next week it's on oh, I know where it is. Well, where's my calendar? Google Calendar. Next week, next week, next week, next week. There it is. And the topic is storytelling through photography beyond the technical aspects. So how to compose, how composition, lighting, and exposure create impactful images, the role of photography in journalism and social change, tips for improving storytelling in various photography genres. That's the main topic next week. Last month, we didn't end up actually getting to the topic. We all took off on a tangent and just started chatting. Hey,
My
Mark?
fault again.
Oh no, no, it wasn't. I mean, if there's something else that comes up, it comes up. I don't mind. As long as, I mean, you know me, I can go on forever with photography. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you again,
Thank
Take care,
you.
bro. Take care,
and
Melinda.
we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye-bye,
Ciao.
everyone.
Bye.
Again, guys, have a wonderful weekend. And whether it's film, whether it's digital, just